Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Trading Room. I'm Shane Vernier, and this is NFP Live. Today, we're going to talk about the latest NFP release from the United States federal government. We don't really know what the numbers are going to say. We're pretty sure that I have a lot of questions already about the validity of these numbers and if, in fact, they're remotely accurate. So we are going to take a look at that. Got a great question right off the bat. Are we going to buy the dollar? I don't know. Maybe. Maybe not. Remember, trading around NFP, anytime you're trading around a major news release, you've got to understand that it is very, very, very dangerous. There's going to be a lot of volatility. There's going to be a lot of things going on that we don't understand. And it's very important that we watch our risk management. Everything we do needs to be structured, and we cannot just dive into this in an attempt to make a bunch of money fast. That is not what this is about. This is more about weathering the storm, attempting potentially to get into the market at the right time and on the right side of it. So I want to welcome everybody back to the Trading Room. We've got a lot of folks here. Let me go. Are we going to buy the dollar or one Islam? I don't know just yet. I'll get to it in a second. Let me see Packamp. Good to see you, Packamp. Welcome, Matthew Briggs. What's the verdict? Or Matthew Biggs. I'm not sure yet what the verdict is. Let's see. Alan, a bullish dollar? Matthew, really? Yeah. So gold will drop then. I don't know about that. Right now, sort of scalping the Euro USD, watching that real close on a 5-minute chart. I think we potentially may have an opportunity to trade that on the 9 EMA strategy. I'm going to say that in just a second. Just asking. Yeah, we're going to look at the dollar. Absolutely. Let me see. Tada David, how are you doing it? I'm doing very well. Thank you. Bright and early here. Money never sleeps. Clearly, it's very, very early where I'm at. So we're going to go ahead and get it going here in about 10 minutes. The number's going to drop. If you have any questions at all, be sure to ask, and I'll be sure to cover it. Tina Jing, good to see you. Tina, welcome. Let me see over in the How to Trade community. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be. Steve Francis, good to see you. Steve, Andrea Garwal, good morning. Is Steve Francis is a strong number good for the dollar? Yeah, we're going to talk about that in just a second. Tata David to start. Okay, we got a lot going on here. First and foremost, if you want to trade any of these ideas, be sure to head on over to Switch Markets, get your account going. Free demo accounts, live accounts when you're ready, and you have an opportunity there to get in and trade thousands of markets with that MT5 platform. So what I recommend, this is sort of our newest thing that we just put out, the 9 EMA strategy. If you're looking for a strategy, enter your email address, unlock the strategy pack. You'll see a video here embedded a little bit later today that'll show you exactly how to upload the strategy and get everything going. This is sort of a picture of the strategy in action. You can see we've got a lot going on with regards to signals. This is not a signal provider. We're not a signal provider, but you can see the 9 EMA. We're in oversold territory there. We have an opportunity potentially to take a long here on Bitcoin, and I'm going to go ahead and just buy this thing and see what happens. You'll see right there our indicator showed up beautifully, oversold territory, and now we're sort of getting that run up. The biggest thing you have to remember is you have to be able to put your profit target and stop loss in really reasonable areas. Be reasonable with your expectations. That is the art to trading any strategy, especially this one. You need to know exactly where to put your stop loss first and foremost, and there it is right beneath that swing low. We cover all that and more in the 9 EMA video, so be sure to check that out. It's one of our most popular strategies that we've ever put out there on our How to Trade YouTube channel, so you're going to want to check that one out. That's a pretty good one. If you're looking for a place to begin, the 9 EMA is a place to begin. If you're looking for maybe something more sophisticated, well, be sure to join us on a live stream, that's for sure. All right, everybody, the NFP, the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, United States Non-Farm Payrolls is going to be the big release today, on a Wednesday, 11th of February. That is extremely rare. Extremely rare that we see something like this, a big news release like this, come across the board on a Wednesday. However, we're doing it. So here we go. Remember, what is NFP? Essentially, you're just measuring the jobs in the United States. Nothing really to worry about there. It's not hard. Don't make it any harder than it has to be. Counts the number of workers in the United States. Good enough. Remember, how we trade it is based on projections and the previous release. Everything is relative. So the number in and of itself doesn't mean a whole lot, but we're going to gauge it, gauge the relative strength according to our projections and the previous release. So you're definitely going to want to check that out. How does the NFP impact the Forex? To Steve questions number, is a strong number good for the dollar? Yeah, it is. So if our NFP comes in above expectations and surprises the markets, that's going to be bullish for the USD. Now, the bullish for the USD means what? It means the USD is going to gain ground against the majors. So something like the Euro USD, that number will fall as opposed to rise in the event of a weak NFP. So if the number's below expectations, that's bearish for the USD. You'll see those majors move against the dollar in that case. But if it is bullish, if it's above expectations, that's going to send the USD trending against the majors. Now, NFP impact equities and commodities. This is different. The big thing you got to remember here is if it's above expectations, it's going to be bearish for equities and commodities. And if it's below expectations, it's going to be bullish for equities and commodities. Weak dollar means what? It means stocks are worth more. Commodities are worth more. Why? It takes more dollars to buy those assets. It's not that their value is going up. That's not the case. It's that the price is going up. Just because the price goes up doesn't mean the value goes up. Lita, good to see you, Lita. Welcome. We got about 7 minutes till our release. Here's what we're expecting for today's release. This is from January, the first number out of 2026. We're looking for an NFP. The previous release was 50,000. We're looking for 66,000 today. And our unemployment rate is supposed to stay put at 4.4%. Now, whether it will or not, I really couldn't tell you. I'm watching the unemployment rate. Unemployment rate is key. We're above the Fed's benchmark rate of about 4.0%. I think that's absolutely huge to always be thinking about that unemployment rate. Historical levels, we're still very low historically. Very low historically. And if you watch TV at all, you probably would never guess that, but we are very, very low unemployment rate historically. You can see some of the worst crises that we've had over the last 100 years really have been marked by 10% unemployment, 9% unemployment, maybe even 15. That COVID number doesn't really count, though. That was artificial. That was temporary. But still very low. Very, very low. So you want to keep an eye on that. Financial crisis of 08, there was sort of a dip there in non-farm payrolls, and then COVID-19 showed some negative prints. So negative prints are rare. We have seen a few of them lately, though, and we're very concerned about today's numbers. I think it could be a blockbuster event. Now, has unemployment peaked? Not really sure. Not really sure. I mean, you can see we had the big print last November. The feds shut down the government. It was just an absolute mess to get our numbers. We're still behind schedule, and you can see that November really spiked, and then December it came down a little bit. I'm expecting it to hold firm. So I'm not expecting anything out of the unemployment rate, but that's where our surprise will be if it ticks higher or if it ticks lower. So I hope that answers your question, Stephen. It will have a huge impact on the dollar. Let me see Gordon Williams. Good to see you, Gordon. Welcome. In my opinion, let me see Willem. In my opinion, gold should fly to 52.50, but we will see. Hello, peoples. Buy gold, buy gold, sell gold. Everybody doesn't know what to do with gold. Funny, we're all trading gold. Well, let's get out to the chart. Wizard Alvin, good to see you, Wizard. I'm confident everything's going well in your neck of the woods. All right, here you go. So this is gold. Gold chart weekly. Very difficult to trade right now. A lot of people that I talk to on live streams, a lot of people that I talk to, one-on-one conferences, all sorts of things. Talk to traders around the world. Everybody's trading gold right now. And the biggest thing you guys need to remember is that type of market formation, those back-to-back candles, they're not good. That signifies that we had the tremendous rally, and then the sell-off, and then the sell-off, and then the rally. The market really doesn't know where to go. So for me, the biggest thing that you need to be aware of is what? It's called the point of control. Point of control is 5,000. Big round number. We've got buyers and sellers from that level. What does all that mean? Put it in a pot, stir it up, serve it hot. What does it mean? It means 5,000 is what? It's the point of control. It's where everybody's debating what gold's worth. Well, is it worth 5,000? Is it not worth 5,000? These folks up here believe that 5,000 was the key. These folks down here believe 5,000 was the key. Now we're driving up just a little bit above that level. I would be buying 5,000s on this release. If we get an opportunity and a pullback there from 50.86 back down to 5,000, which we could easily get, I would be a bidder from 5,000, but I wouldn't be in it for a position. I wouldn't be sitting there going, okay, this is the bottom of the market, because we don't know. Right now, the gold market is so discombobulated, nobody knows which way it's going, and the chop is tearing people apart. Be careful if you're trading gold. There's better markets out there right now, at least until this thing resumes its long-term uptrend or it sells off from 5,000. All right, that being said, I know everybody wants to trade it, so I probably didn't even make a dent. All right, so let's go ahead and trade it. You have options all over the board here. As far as my scalping approach here, I'll be looking probably to sell our key level. We put a trade ID out a while back. Key level is going to be right up here to the top. I'm going to go ahead and skip 62% because we've got about 3-day compression right around 62. I'm up here looking at about 53.50, 53.41. That would be a great sell for me. I would like that if we could get that late in the week, maybe for CPI live. That'd be fantastic. This area right in here, though, not real interested in it. Would love a pullback. Pullback right to 50% of this zone. Bidding from right around 5,000. Yeah, we could definitely get into that. Now, that being said, you've got another way to trade gold. Right there. What could you do? Fibonacci retracement sequence, spike low to today's upper extreme. What do you really have? You still have 5,000 in play. But if it gets really bad today, 49.43, something like that, your EMA is down there at 49.47, 49.43. Sort of an interesting zone. So I'd be watching that relatively closely if I'm trading gold, and most of you are. Most of you are. All right, T-minus 2 minutes. We've got a couple of things to look at here. Dollar yen. I was watching this dollar yen 30-minute chart, and I know hopes for losers and children, basically, but I really was hoping that we would get a crossover here. This was going to give us a lot of, the 9 EMA crosses over the 20 EMA. This was going to give us a lot of ammunition to buy this market and maybe get long with a little bit of meaning on the 30-minute chart. I would have liked that for a pure day trade. We didn't get it. I had that set up. I was looking for that ready to go. We just didn't get it. You can see a tremendous rally on this 5-minute going back to sort of that mid-London session, early London session, and you've got really just a banger to the top side. So right now, what are we looking for? Well, I mean, if on the 5-minute chart, if we could get a cross under with this dollar yen, I probably could sell it. I wouldn't feel bad about that. There's going to be a lot of action in the market. So I'll be watching that for the dollar yen. As far as dollar CAD, this is going to be another one we're watching today. Going right back there to 2024's lows. It's right in this vicinity anyway. September, that spike low right down around 134.18. That could be very good. So we've got just a few seconds here until we get our number. We're curious of what it's going to be. I know that I am. Dollar yen, interesting right here. Let's go ahead and take a look at this 5-minute chart, dollar yen, 920 EMA crossover, and see what happens. All right, bearish price action coming into play. 2-1, where's the number? All right. Okay, boom, right there. US dollar is definitely showing strength against the Japanese yen. Gold is coming down. I would keep a close eye on 5,000 for gold. You don't want to miss that entry if you do get it. 154. Okay, this is a big-time boost. Clearly, we got a number that we weren't anticipating here. So let's go ahead. I've got the employment situation summary up right now. January 2026, total non-farm payroll employment rose by 130,000 in January, and the unemployment rate changed little at 4.3%. So you got a huge print. You got a huge print out of your employment figure, 130,000. Unemployment came down a little bit. What does all that mean? Put it in, like I said, put it in a pot and stir it up. What does it mean? It means the dollar's stronger. Right now you're gaining ground. That suggests that maybe job creation's stronger than we thought. Now, with inflation, CPI numbers, we're going to find out Friday, the other part of this equation. But right now, it looks like this stuff's coming down a little bit. And now, what do you have? Inflation stabilizing, jobs going up. What does that mean? It means that you're probably not going to get your interest rate cut until later this summer. That's been my call for a long time now, and I'm sticking with it. When you talk about Jay Powell and what he wants to do before he leaves the Fed, he's not cutting anything. So we're going to go ahead. We'll break that down on later live streams, probably tomorrow when we're actually in here trading this fallout. But coded 920 EMA, what do we want to do here? Let's take this down to a 1-minute chart. Do we want to bid this right here? Big candle. That's a big candle. You can see it's lighting up gold. That's sort of our signal to bid. Now, you don't want to bid from here. You want to get a retracement. That would be buying sort of the top of this move, and I don't necessarily believe that's a good idea. But take a good look at that 1-minute bar right there, up about 0.5%. Dollar yen. Look out, guys. Look out. This was a big surprise, and now we're just trending higher, trending higher, trending higher. So very bullish, very, very bullish print for the U.S. dollar. I think that type of huge employment statistic is one of those that we just can't ignore. we absolutely can't ignore. So we're going to go ahead and look for a couple of trades now. I get this question every single NFP. Shane, what do you like to do trading-wise? I don't trade 5 minutes before it. I don't like holding positions through it. And I probably am going to let this thing at least simmer for another minute or two before I dive in and get involved. So you'll see right there, price has actually stopped on our charts. That doesn't surprise me at all. Let's see, our internet's rolling. My platform's rolling. It's just one of those things where we start making markets and everything just grinds to a halt. I've seen a lot of this lately. 39, I mean, where's price even at? Where is it? 154.39? It's gone. Let's go to a 5-minute chart. What's happening? 154.40. That's what you always deal with these things. When you get in these big news events, and all of a sudden the charts stop updating. That's because there's so much action, so much volume hitting the market that we just aren't really sure what exactly is going on. Right here, 135.93. This is interesting in the dollar CAD. I'd be watching this area right down here, maybe for later this week. This 134, maybe 134 and a quarter buy. Let's go to gold. Gold right here is pulling back in a big way. Now, why is that? Because the dollar's stronger. Dollar's stronger, big NFP print. You've got a serious situation here where we all are looking and wondering, oh boy, what does this mean for interest rates? I'll pull up those expectations in a minute. It means that you're not getting your rate cut anytime soon. That's exactly what this means. Big time number today, guys. Big time surprise, big time level. You can see if we do get this pullback to 5,000, probably a pretty good bid. I know I've said that I don't know how many times, but really it is. It's probably what we're looking for here on the bid side of things, right from 5,000. We'll see what happens. Printing right now, 5,043, something like that. Let's go to a 30-minute chart, something like that. This zone right in here, probably going to be important. So we're watching 5,000 very, very carefully here in gold. A couple other things that we need to look at here. Dollar yen, I mean, it's just absolutely crazy. We're not getting the updates. This chart is not updating for whatever reason. That really bothers me, especially when you get into the situation where you need it to update. Right here, dollar yen, or excuse me, Great Britain pound USD. Nice big sell-off. You've got all sorts of things happening here on the short time frames, but the Forex is really going crazy right now. These data providers are not providing what's happening in the market at all. You're not seeing the charts update, and what that means is there's a tremendous amount of participation right now. Okay, let's go ahead and move around here. Let's jump around, see if we can get a couple of trades. Great Britain pound USD, interesting, very interesting. You'll notice that we're jumping all over the place because that's a huge surprise, absolutely huge surprise. What I want to look at now is, do we have an opportunity to trade maybe a macro Fibonacci level? Okay, so right here, daily chart. Okay, pound dollar. Spike low there, spike high. Pullback zone was right to 50%. What are we looking at right here? 135.86, something like that. Probably a pretty good zone, pretty good daily zone. So you can see the head fake knocked out all the longs, or excuse me, all the retail shorts. Now you're knocking out all the retail longs. Where do we want to trade from? For me, I would be looking to go long right in there, right at that 135.86, something like that. So just above that zone, probably going to be a pretty good trade. Right now we're printing about 136.15-ish. Let's see exactly what we need to get accomplished here to take this trade. I'm not seeing really my trading DOM or anything, so that's about par for the course today. Yeah, I don't know where it is. In any case, something like this, 135.86, that would probably be your entry. You're going to want to shade that a few pips, be looking right there, right up at 89 or 90, something like that, right in that zone. I would actually pad that a little bit more and be pretty aggressive from down there. Dollar index right now is up about 0.25%. I don't expect it to last. Look at that bounce off of 50%. That zone right there, you're looking to build your long position. Excuse me. Having trouble breathing and talking today. So in any case, that's what you're looking at there from 62%. Let's get back out to our 9 EMA strategy. This is interesting stuff right here. You can see that if we do get a close right there in this, let's see, what is this, Bitcoin? We're looking at Bitcoin right here. Had a beautiful trade right here. Hit our profit target in Bitcoin, but you can almost get a sell here on a 1 minute setting up. Let's go to the gold chart. Gold chart's fascinating, isn't it? Now, this is the type of strategy that can really help you on a day like today because it gives you everything you need to place trades. Every trade has three parts. You got an entry point, you got your stop loss, and your profit target. So when you look at something like this, you say, okay, what do I have going here? I'd say, well, you've got a 9 EMA, you're in oversold territory, so you have an opportunity potentially to bid this thing. Now, the real question is we've got a 7-bar lag, meaning we're in overbought or oversold territory down here. If we cross over within 7 bars, then we'll get our buy signal. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like we're going to get it. This would be the 7th bar. If you don't get that crossover, that close above the 9 EMA here, you're not going to get the trade. So I look at this and I go, man, it looks like we're barely going to miss the trade, or are we going to get it? Sort of tough to say. The biggest thing you guys need to be looking at for the rest of the day is this 1-minute bar. That's called your NFP bar. That range right there is incredibly, incredibly important. Incredibly important. So you got to be very, very careful with what happens in and around those extremes. A lot of times those set up as resistance and support. Okay, there's our bid. So we did get the bid. You're seeing this thing fire in real time. Let's go ahead and buy the market. Now, what we have here essentially is a trade that we can manage a bunch of different ways. For me, I'm always sort of partial to putting my stop loss down here beneath that swing low, exactly where the market was severely oversold. However, you could play it very, very tight, which isn't a bad idea on these news bars. It's not that bad because there's a lot of volatility and volume in the market. You've got an opportunity maybe to take a real tight trade and potentially grab a scalp. I would much rather scalp right now during the day than take a position, because this right here is a tremendous news-driven bar with a lot of volume and a lot of participation. This action right here, even if we get stopped out, I'm not really too worried about it. 1 to 3% on any given trade. We're looking to get in and get good positive price action right away. You can see right here where it looks like we're going to get stopped out. I don't really care to take a position with that big a risk down. That's a big risk, especially this close after a news event. I would just as soon take the loss and move on to the next trade. You're going to have a lot of trades today to choose from, especially if you're using a strategy like this that develops on a 1-minute time frame. Very, very important that you understand scalping 1 minute, very, very risky. And you're also going to get just a tremendous number of trades every single day. So the idea would be to cut your losses as soon as you can. Now you can see right here over in our market watch, close my navigator, you can see just how crazy the markets are going right now. Absolutely imperative that you manage your risk aggressively. There's a lot happening today. This was a big surprise. Jeanette, good to see you. Jeanette, welcome from down under, joining us either the middle of the night or the early in the morning, maybe the afternoon. I got to get my time zones better. In any case, you can see this trade sort of breaking up in our favor. We put on a 1 lot on gold. That's big. That really is a big trade for a lot of folks, especially retail traders. That one's going to go up. Looks like it's going to pay us off, maybe close to 1,000. See if we get the follow through. I got this question yesterday. Shane, at what point do you move your break even or your stop loss to break even? And I don't. I got away from that a long time ago. I got tired of getting stopped out before my trades went up and got my money. So this trade, relatively tight scalp, 1-minute chart. We're just using a very tight initial stop loss where we had it. I'm just going to go ahead and let it play out. If we win, we win. If we lose, we lose. That's just the way that it is. It's just the way that it is. Let me see. Let me see. NV Creations. Good to see NV. Oh, a lot of hearts in the live chat. Fantastic. Good. I'm glad maybe you got that gold trade. That probably made you happy. But let me see. Calvin. Good to see you, Calvin. Welcome. I'm getting way behind on the live chat. All well. Things are going great. Universal. Good to see you, Universal. Let me see. Hugo, I've never traded on the news. Always wait 30 minutes up to 1 hour after the chart shows where we want to go. I agree. I would wait. This is highly risky what we're involved in right there, but we've got a place to get out of the market, and I don't feel bad about it. Let me see. Love the gold. Positive or negative rate than the last one. Swati, you're going to see some interest rate expectations absolutely plummet. Now, this is a fantastic look. Let me see. Frigid. Yo. Yeah, I'm trading gold too. Everybody's trading gold right now. I'm going to be trading later today crude oil and Euro FX futures. My game plan for Euro FX futures is very simple. I'm going to be watching this range right here and be just probably fading the extremes on a rotational strategy. It's going to be pretty good. I don't think the Euro USD is going to trend today for very long, but it may. We got to wait and see. All right, are we going to go up and get paid off for what? 1-minute chart? This is sort of the crux of trading, guys. Right now, it's very, very easy to make a decision that maybe is right or wrong. If you're going to be a systems trader and you're going to take dozens and dozens and hundreds of these trades on short time frames, you almost need to let them play out. no matter what happens. And right now, it's very hard because you're down here, you're watching your P&L, you're going up, you're going down, you're going up, you're going down. You can see if we would have moved our profit target, our stop loss to break even, we would have got jammed out right there before we got paid off. And that would really frustrate me because we took that initial risk. We almost got stopped out a minute into this. Then we got back into the green. We still may get stopped out and lose, but if we're already out if we move to break even. Well, now we didn't lose anything. Yeah, but you didn't really gain anything either. I mean, if you're going to move the stop loss to break even, you might as well have just taken the profits at the end of the second minute. So those are things you have to decide for yourself. I can't really tell you what to do. I tell you that 1% to 3% on any given trade. I really don't care how the trade works out. I know that we've got good trade setups all day long, and that's what being a systems trader is all about. This one looks like it's going to go against us and nail us. Very difficult psychologically to handle that, only being a few pips off of getting your profit target and then watching this reverse against you. But if you're a systems trader, then you have to take the good with the bad, and this right here is going to be a tough loss, it looks like. Just the way that it is. Now, for me, during the day, I'm a cash trader. I play for cash. If this move right here would have jammed up and hit my daily profit target, and I would have made enough money on the session to walk away from it, I would have taken the money and ran. I'm not interested in sitting in here and going back and forth. But if you're going to be a systems trader, you've got to understand what that means. And it means that, my targets need to get hit. And if my targets don't get hit, I'm not going to get paid. And as long as you're okay with that, then you can make it as a systems trader. If psychologically watching something like this unfold absolutely destroys you, like it destroys me, I can't do it. I would have already been out of this thing. But if in fact this is the way that you can handle it and you rationalize in your mind taking a loss right now, that's great. You set yourself up for success, but you've got to be willing to take the draws and let them go to their profit target, or else you're going to run into problems. You'll end up inevitably cutting off winners and letting losers run. And that basically is what kills 95% of the people out there. That's for sure. Let me see. Wholesome minute. Buy gold. I would be going long gold probably from 5,000. I think that's the play. I really do. I think that's the play. I don't know if I'd be into that. Let me see. Universal floating profit and losses hurts emotions until the trade is closed by a target of the stop. That's why Universal, a lot of systems traders will put these trades on and then just walk away from the screen. They'll say, I got my stop loss down. My profit target is in check. I'm leaving. I'm leaving. And psychologically, that's not a bad way to do it. But sitting here hanging on every single dollar, like right now, we're down again. We're down a couple hundred. Now we're up. Now we're down. Now we're up. It's psychologically, it is really draining. I'm not interested in really doing that, but a lot of you are. A lot of you like going back and forth with a DOM. Look, now it's breaking in our favor. Now we're up 380. Now we're up 260. Now we're up 100. Very, very difficult, guys, to trade that way and stay in the game for a long period of time. It basically mentally will break you down, and it runs everybody to the dirt eventually. It really does. But we're in the positive now, right? So life's good, at least for the next minute or two. Let me see. Get a CFR. Let me see. Universal, is it a demo or a real trade on gold? This is a demo trade. I'm showing you how the 9 EMA works. I do all demo on MT5. I'm still talking with the back office. It doesn't look like I'm going to be trading real money anytime soon. No, they don't want me to. I trade futures, though, so that may or may not be useful to you guys. But this would be a trade that probably was worth taking. Very, very short time frame, good good bar ranges, very active market. If you're going to trade something like the 9 EMA, you're probably trading it right now. I mean, this is when you want to be in. Look at the ranges. The tick volumes are strong. They definitely picked up. You got a pretty good chance to win here. However, it's not over yet. All right, we're in the green. We got to go do something else. I'm getting bored by watching that screen here. Let me see. FR, do you trade from home full time? Yeah, I've been doing this a long time, FR. I've been in this game 15 years, since 2011. I trade crude oil. Today, it depends on the time of year of what I really specialize in, but I've always got crude oil going. I've been laid off of gold futures just because the market has been so crazy. But for right this minute, my focus right now today, will be WTI crude oil futures, and it will also be the Euro FX futures. Had some pretty good trades in the Euro yesterday. Very, very slow rotational market that can really help you. Those can be great. I mean, they really can be. Do we long short? I don't know. I personally wouldn't be buying gold until it hits 5,000. So is what it is. You're welcome, Universal. Why long? It was just a complete systems play, Akira. Bobby Bob, good to see you. Welcome. I mean, you can see right now we're still hanging on to this trade. I mean, this thing is still playing out right in front of us. We're up, we're down, we're up, we're down, we're up, we're down. I mean, it's absolutely brutal. This thing could go down and knock us out, and it's such a tight trade that, it is what it is, kind of. You take the good with the bad. Very, very difficult trade to take a loss on, though. Let me see. What's my favorite trade? I love key levels with Fibonacci. So if we're looking at something like this, on this Great Britain Pound USD, this area right down in here that I had outlined is fantastic. That's a fantastic area. 135.90-ish, right around that 136 area. Nice daily pullback Fibonacci retracement. That's a pretty good one. That's one that I probably wouldn't ignore. All right, let's take a look at gold here. So gold right there, you can see 30-minute chart. We really sold off. Now we've got that long tail. We're sort of bouncing back up to 57. 5,000 was really what we wanted. We went right down to 5,019. That would have been just a really beautiful trade, maybe 5,075, something like that. Maybe even 5,250. That would have been a banger. You can see the bidders stepped in. You've got a nice value area down here. That is sort of what a lot of you smart money concept traders will be looking for. A test of this liquidity sweep down here on the bottom of market structure. Well, we almost got it, and it's no coincidence that right there that occurred on the 10th of February during the morning. That was early morning. Yesterday morning, hit right on 5,000 and bounced. So something like that is just absolutely fantastic. We just didn't get it, and that's sort of the crux of dealing with NFP. Sometimes you get your levels, sometimes you don't. All right, let's take a look at a couple other majors. I'm not really happy with how this Forex charts have been updating. US dollar, Japanese yen, if you do sell off a little bit more, 50% retracement, 152.50, really a strong support zone right in there. Potentially bid that. 62%, 150.81, somewhere down in there. I would love that. Later this week, we've got CPI. We may actually get a shot at bidding that. It just really depends on how the yen performs against the dollar. Interesting. It's really an interesting print today, and what we have is fascinating stuff. It really is. Major surprise, major surprise. Let's go ahead and update you on the dollar index, and then we'll go ahead and recap this report and get on down the road for today. You can see right there, spike high, spike low, dollar index, 38%, 38% retracement right here. Very, very bearish here for the U.S. dollar. It's been that way since Trump was inaugurated into office. I expect rate cuts to be coming later this year, but they're not going to come anytime soon. We'll go ahead and check the rate expectations right now. 35 days to our next Fed meeting. I don't think you're getting any rate cuts. I really don't. But this right here shows a very, very bearish USD. There's no two ways about it. The idea is going to be to cut interest rates, devalue the currency, and spark economic growth that way. Today's jobs numbers say you don't have to do that. You don't have to do that. All right, we got one more question here, and I'm going to go ahead and I got a couple questions here, and I'm going to go ahead and answer these. Let's get back on over and see if our trade actually developed. Yeah, went up and got our profit target, so that wasn't too bad. A nice little trade. Go down to our history. And yeah, we got the winner there. We got the winner in gold. So that was a fantastic trade on the 9 EMA. Good stuff. Always like it to see a winner. Not a bad time to be taking that kind of trade. You just got to make sure that you dial that risk in. All right, Gordon Williams, Australian dollar, US dollar. Okay, so right here you've broken out to the top side. You can see exactly what's developing on the monthly. You're pushing above January's highs, which tells you that you're trending. You've broken out. You've broken above the upper Bollinger Band on the monthly, and now it is pretty much time to run. A couple of things that I would look at. This spike high from February of 2023 is now being challenged, so this could potentially bring in some selling. I don't know that it will, but you can see right there your top is going to be 71.57, and our high thus far has been about 71.28. So that area right in there could definitely be challenged, 71.50-ish. Be careful if you're holding longs. Could definitely get a challenge right there on 2023's highs. Could definitely get run into some two-way action there in the Aussie. As far as where else could we be headed, boy, I mean, this right here, this type of formation on the monthly really lends itself to buying pullbacks. So if you were interested, you see there's your big break, there's your compression, there's your break. What do you want to do? I want to buy. I don't want to be a seller, but I do understand that 2023's highs, pretty big deal, pretty big deal. Nice daily chart. Spike low there to a spike high, something like that, 70.40, 70.50-ish. Could be a nice pullback. I just don't know that we get the pullback. I really don't. Should get it. We should get it after that NFP read, but Do we get it right there? You see the dollar index sort of giving back all of those gains, and now you start to see gold recovering. Euro USD, we had another trade that I was scoping out earlier today. I'm on the Euro USD, and you can see that it's starting to develop on a 5-minute time frame. It's starting to develop right here, sort of your spike low. And now if you get that break above the 9 EMA, that would be your long, and that would sort of suggest that the strength in the USD is over for today. I think that's interesting. It's not a bad read either. The dollar index has given back everything. If you take a good look at what's happened today, you got a doji setting up, and that's because the markets really don't know which way that we're going. There's your rally, and then you sort of based out, and now the rally is continuing. If you are trading currencies today, understand that your NFP range is absolutely huge. That's the deal. Understand that range is everything. More than likely, you're going to see this act as resistance and this is support because the market is probably going to trade inside of that range. This was a 0.5% gain for the DXY. All right, that's a 0.5% gain in 5 minutes. Now you're going sideways. This is pretty much how NFP works. Shakes the markets up, and then everybody tries to digest what happened for the rest of the session. Something to think about there. Okay, let me see. OG, commodities are your friend. Yeah, I trade commodities. I'm an old school commodities trader. Jonathan, good to see you. I'm from Ethiopia. Today I lost 5,000 risk managed. I lose 5K. That's not good. It's a lot of money. 5K. That's way, way, way deeper than I would go in a session. I've gone similar to that in a day, and I didn't feel very well, so I try not to do that anymore. Let me see. What do I think about silver price? It's just down. Yeah, I'll go ahead and sort and take a look at silver, and then say, Tina, yeah, I scalped 100 points on the US 30. Right on. Well done. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at silver. Ayaz, why is gold long when NFP is so strong? Well, I mean, think about it. You're just reversing. I sort of just covered that where you're going to see chop on these numbers. You see a flood of participation, it moves the markets, and then they stabilize, and a lot of times they go in the other direction. That's just sort of the nature of the markets. When you get a huge rush of traders and a bunch of participation, a bunch of volume hits on something like an NFP, it doesn't give you an accurate read of which way the market's going to go. It really doesn't. What it does do is it sort of shakes things up, and then it takes a little bit of time for people to digest it and say, okay, the chaos is over. Now what do we want to do with our positions? So just because gold is up right now doesn't mean it's going to stay up. I would be surprised if it does. I expect it to trade back down around 5,000 today. Now, that's a long ways from where we're at. But if it does happen, then you're going to have a pretty good buying opportunity later in the day, at least for a scalp. So I'd be watching gold closely. I think it's going to come back down. I don't think it's just going to run away and hide. To the top side, as you can see, dollar index right now starting to turn over a little bit and maybe trade up towards the top of that range. A lot going on here. There's a lot going on here. All right, let me see. What do I think about silver price? Okay, we'll look at the silver price here. I think a lot about it. You know, silver is what it is. I mean, it's just such a huge market right now. The rally is interesting. This sell-off right here scared everybody. 26%, and it was worse than that. On that Friday, there was all sorts of stories about what was happening, and now you're starting to see things recover. The market has settled down. This retracement right here was horrible. Nice big sell-off again, buried this market, and now you're starting to see the bidders really step in and sort of get what I call a creep. They're sort of creeping back into that range. So when I look at something like that, I say, okay, where could this market potentially go? It is impossible to say from right now. It really is. There are a lot of bulls in the market. You're up 5% on the day. Key level right there, you're banging up against my 13-day EMA, which is up there at about 86.45. So I would have that marked as resistance. Step back to the weekly, though. What's going on? You'll notice this is a much different scenario than we're looking at in gold. Much different. Spike high, spike low, right at 38%. 85.90, 86, that's huge. If you get a break above that zone, then you can make a run. Then we'll start talking about 90s and 99s again. This up here would be a fantastic area to sell. Intraday scalp, right from beneath 100. Love that. That looks to me like it would be a pretty good trade location to the bear. As far as where do we go from here? Do we go back up and challenge highs? It's a very bullish market, but this cannot be ignored. This sell-off here cannot be ignored. You're still in bearish territory from the past 2 weeks. So don't get fooled into just bidding this thing just to bid it. You're at a key level right now, right around 85. I'd be looking for a daily close, maybe up above 86. If you can get that, then you'll have an opportunity potentially to say, okay, maybe the worst of this is over. So silver, very difficult. But one thing I do want to show you here before we sign off, that's the silver market. Okay, this is the gold market. Very different, extremely different. 5,000 is the point of control, and you can see we've traded that for 4 weeks in a row. These bodies right here are lining up right on 5,000. Okay, what about silver now? Very different. This pullback on the weekly. Remember, weekly time frames. This pullback. I mean, this shows that gold was very bullish. Came off, boom, huge sell-off, rallied right back up above 5,000. Haven't got that in silver yet. You got the big bearish candle, and then you sort of got a compressed bearish candle, and now you're looking to rally potentially and gain back some of these losses, but we're not there yet. And right now, the sellers are stepping in at 86. Be careful at 86. 85.90 to 86. Be careful. Be careful. That could be a real challenge for us as we roll forward in time. Can I buy now? Target of 50.90. What do you mean, can you buy now? You can buy anytime you want. I can't tell you what to do. 50.90. I mean, if you're going to buy now, what's the rationale? Let's say you bought right this minute. Where do you stop yourself out at? I mean, you really are sort of late to the party. Where do you stop yourself out at? Just curious. I mean, if this is the case, let's say we bought right now. What could we really do for a stop out? 5-minute chart where we stop ourselves out just down here. That's what I call an arbitrary stop loss. Those hurt. Your stop loss needs to mean something. And what I'm still worried about, especially if you go long right now, I'm worried about this range. I'm worried about that NFP range right there. So your top up there is 50.85. You're going to target 50.90, which means you have to break out of that range. I think that's going to be a rocky road. It may work. You may be right. But for me, I'm going to wait for a sure thing, something that's a little bit stronger than just buying in the middle of that NFP range. I think that could be a real issue. That could be a real problem, and you could get chopped up. I would call that a high-risk trade, Manu. I would call that a high-risk trade for sure. Now, that being said, if you want to do it, do it. It's up to you. It's your money. I can't tell you what to do. I'm not a financial advisor. That's for sure. You're welcome. All right, guys. Fundamentals are very important when it comes to NFP. You can see this is our 18th of March Fed meeting right there. What is our current target rate at 3.5 to 3.75? And we're looking at about a 94% chance. They're not going to cut interest rates in March. Do they cut them in April? No. Do they cut them or do they cut them in June? June's going to be your first rate cut of the year. That would be my guess right now. The reason why? You're going to have a new Fed chair in June. This is big. I expect this right here, we're looking for our first rate cut, about a 50% chance. I think this guy, this Warsh, is going to come in, and he's going to be looking to cut somewhere down in here right away. It's going to be like a half point. It's not going to be a quarter point. I would be willing to wager on that right now. Employment. All right. This is the report. We looked at it earlier. Total non-farm employment rose by 130,000. That is an extremely, extremely bullish mark. Extremely bullish for the U.S. dollar. Unemployment rate changed a little at 4.3. It did fall. Now, here's the thing. The devil's always in the details. The last paragraph is always what I look for. And we haven't read it yet. I don't know. These are the backward revisions. These are the backward revisions to the previous data releases. Now, this is extremely important to us because the last fall, that government shutdown really delayed all of this data. And so we still don't really know if any of it's true. I'm not believing any of it. I'm really not. But let's take a look at our backward revisions and see exactly what happened. The change in total non-farm payroll employment for November was revised down by 15,000 from 56K to 41K. I mean, that doesn't surprise me. And the change for December was revised down by 2,000 from 50,000 to 48,000. With these revisions, employment in November and December combined is 17,000 previously reported. So 17,000 is not the end of the world. Those revisions aren't really big. It looks to me like with a downward revision of only 2,000 and 15,000, it looks to me like the data is starting to stabilize. And if that's the case, we can start making trading decisions that are maybe a little more rooted in reality. I don't particularly see us cutting interest rates anytime soon, and I'm pretty sure today's number sort of built the Fed's case that, hey, maybe inflation's still a little bit too high, jobs are coming back in a big way, maybe we can wait to cut interest rates. I think that's exactly what happened today. All right, everybody, I'm going to look to sign off today. I'm going hard, seems like all week long. All right, let's see. You got it. Prepare for loss review to talk about psychology, undisciplined trading techniques. Laugh out loud. Well, I mean, here's the thing, OG. I'm watching the trade idea for the target of 50.90. And, if you got to do it, you got to do it. This market is really quieting down. That's a 5-minute chart. You can see what our range is. Now, I'm not saying we're going to break out, but man, that thing is slowing down. You're probably not going to get any action there for the next 30 minutes until that U.S. cash open. I think that could be really dangerous, really, really dangerous. I don't want anybody to lose. If you're going to, I would wait till the cash open before I did anything right now, about another 30 minutes or so. That's for sure. Let me see. Butt Plug FX. Love the name. The 4-hour closed above the 5,080 resistance. It might go to 5180. Yeah, it might. It might go back up to 5,500 too. I mean, I think that eventually we make new highs in gold. No question about it. Does it start today? No, I don't think so. And the reason why is we have CPI Friday. We'll be back covering CPI live for you Friday. That's going to be a big event. And this news cycle is very unique. Jobs numbers Wednesday, CPI number Friday. Very unique. And I think that's going to mess up the pricing mechanism for a lot of these assets. I think it could be a really challenging time to be trying to get anything done in the markets. But we're going to do it. Had a few good trades yesterday. We'll get a few good ones today. Let me see. Sorch, thank you. Such insightful and subscribe. Thank you, Sorch. I'm not speaking very well this morning. I don't know what's going on. I'll be better on Friday. I guess I'm getting a little bit of a cold or something. I don't know. Let me see. Thanks. You're welcome, Manu. Protect yourself at all times in this market. Okay, so let's get back over to our 9 EMA 5-minute chart, Euro USD. I'm watching this one like a hawk. I really am. I think that this could be a potential bottom here. But once again, you've got that issue right there, that NFP range, man, that could really just be rotational. This turned out to be a very good trade for us on that gold. We really timed it out very well. We played it extremely tight, a little bit too tight for me. I would have loved the stop loss beneath that swing low, but given the amount of volatility and risk involved in that trade, I wanted to keep it relatively tight. Still, though, pretty good trade, and there goes gold, so maybe long's the way to be. If you have to do it, you have to do it. I understand completely. Bitcoin's one that I've been looking at, and this trade right here, you can see where our trade marker, this is a 1-minute chart, caught really just a banger in Bitcoin, and now we're sort of off to the races. To the top side. 5-minute chart here, maybe potentially getting a sell a little bit later in the day, but for me, I would be, relatively conservative about what I was doing with regards to taking positions. If you want to scalp today, scalp till your heart's content. If you want to position trade, be ready for chop. I don't know that we get the trends today. But maybe it's possible. All right, everybody, that's going to be it for me. Up bright and early. I got to run my range numbers and get ready to make some trades in WTI crude. Remember, if you're trading oil today, EIA inventories are out in about 90 minutes, so be very careful with that. Jeanette, thanks. Middle of the night here. See you Friday. Oh, thanks for tuning in, Jeanette. I always appreciate it. It's always on demand, but if you're staying up till the middle of the night to trade, I have been there. That was one of my first jobs with the 7 V-Bar trading group, was trading Euro FX futures. And eventually I wanted to be where the action was. So I was trading the London Open, which is about 1 a.m. my time. And it was tough. I used to sleep on the floor and get right by my screens and then get up and look at the screens, make a trade, and then go back down and take a nap. And it only took me a couple of months of doing that before I said, I can't do this. So I just trade the U.S. session. You're absolutely welcome, Lita. All right, everybody. I want you to have a fantastic trading session. Remember, if you need anything at all, head on over to Switch Markets. This is sort of our new toy right here, the 9 EMA strategy. Get the strategy pack. beautiful PDFs, EAs. You can add the EA right to the chart. We've got all the instructional stuff for you there as well. And then also over at Switch, you've got an opportunity to open a free demo account, live accounts, whatever you may need. Go ahead and hop to it. All right, everybody, have a fantastic trading session. Careful today. Caution is always the better part of valor. Protect your money. We're going to have a lot of chances to trade. 72 great hours of a little under that in the trading week, but we've got a great opportunity. I know the odds are heavily in my favor tomorrow. I know that. Today, a little bit of a day for caution, but if we get on the right side of it, we get on the right side of it. All right. Let me see. First time on the channel. You're welcome, Matthew. Be sure to join us. We're live pretty much every day. All right. Have a great trading day. Trade the action well, and we'll talk soon. See ya.